picture. Really the hottest nigga, you gon' respect this lava. I'm shooting it if I pull it, boy, make sure you want this drama. I bring it to you like it's Law and Order SVU. Turn you to a vegetable, now you look good inside a soup. Family come from Bishopville, but I grew up in that Bronx Zoo where they shoot you dead in the street and then dance all on top of you. And I do what I gotta do.
Started. Please don't get me started. Started.
I got another Rikers Island story for y'all, man. This is number 41. Now, I'm gonna take y'all guys back to the first house I was ever in, 5 Main North Side, right? So, I was in 5 Main for a couple months before I got into it with the pot y'all dude, and then I went to the box. But this was probably my 3rd, 4th month in there. You know, there was a guy. This guy was from the Bronx. I feel bad about it because he's from the Bronx, but this is basically involving quite a few Bronx dudes. So this dude comes into the house. He was a day room dummy in the house he was in before he got the 5 Main. But there was a guy on the team who was from the Bronx that knew him from out in the town. And they were basically, you could say, cousins. And you know, black people, when they real close to people, it don't matter if they blood relatives. They're going to be like, that's my cousin. Especially in jail. Now, the dude on the team that vouched for him and said, my man's got to be good. This was a dude who, he had been on the team since I've been there. And I seen this dude go the extra length to solidify his spot on the team. This is actually a guy who, later on, he ended up having the crib after I left 5 Main. But he been putting in his work. I watched him literally rise to the occasion. Every time someone new came into the house and they didn't want to respect the program, I watched him volunteer himself to have one-ons with dudes, all type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? He really made it his business to put in work and maintain a respectful name in the house. Now, when his man slash cousin came in the house, at first they wanted to make him with it and make him sit in the back. But the dude who was on the team that vouched for him was like, nah, that's my man's. We can't do that. We can't do that. If y'all try to make him with it, y'all got to try to make me with it. Period. And you know, he was one of the more braver dudes on the team. You know what I'm saying? What he did was he made it easier for the people who ran the house to not have to get their hands dirty. Because he was always willing to get his hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? One thing about somebody from the Bronx, if they really consider you family, it's not likely that they're going to betray you. It's as simple as that, man. If they really consider you family and they don't have no hate in their heart at all about you, they'll look out for you, especially in jail. Now, this dude who they wanted to make with it, he knew that they didn't really like him. They wanted to make him with the program, but he was good off the strength of his mans. So he kind of was being a dick about it. Like, he kind of was like doing a whole lot of flexing for no reason, because, you know, it was already known that he was a day room dummy in a previous house. So the people that ran the crib and the other people on the team, they like, yo, why your mans keep acting like this? Like, we gonna violate him. Like, even if we don't pack him up out of here, we gonna violate him. You know what I'm saying? So the dude who was vouching for him was like, nah, y'all really can't do that. Like, I ain't gonna lie. If y'all gotta do anything, I better not be here, because if I'm here, I'll never let it go down. And he fucked up in saying that, because sure enough, one day that dude that was on the team from the Bronx, he had a court date. And for some reason, Bronx court was getting home real late that day. So the former day room dummy who nobody liked, he got into it with one of the COs, and they had locked him in his cell, right? So The former day room dummy, he had a couple friends or whatever that he was cool with. They was day room dummies. They was eating a meal, you know, the classic hood Rikers Island meal, which is the greatest assortment of ramen noodles and fish and clams and cheese and chicken and just some of the greatest food you'll ever eat in your life, and definitely the best food that Rikers Island has to offer by way of commissary, right? So there's this thing called a tap out. I believe that's what it's called. A tap out is when people are eating a meal, you know, usually they have the big noodle meal. They will make it over a clean plastic bag, right? And when people are full, they would tap out. They like tap on the table, and then everybody would grab the rest of their food to their own little self, right? So they gave him a tap out, which would be they saved him some food. But because this dude was getting on the nerves of the people on the team, he was locked in his cell, and he kept kicking his cell down, making it hot, making mad noise, and the COs was threatening to violate the whole house if he didn't stop, but he wasn't stopping. I watched the two dudes that ran the crib. They said, yo, give me his tap out, and y'all day room niggas better not say nothing or we packing y'all niggas up. They took his food. I seen one dude walk to the bathroom. I mean, not the bathroom. I seen one dude walk to the corner. He had tissue. He put the tissue in his ass, right? Wiped his ass with the tissue. Broke the tissue into little pieces. Broke it into little pieces. Sprinkled it within his food. So now he had booty juice and booty dust on his tissue. And then he sprinkled it inside his food, stirred it up. Then I seen the other dude that had the house. He grabbed his little green cup, because you know when you first get to the island, they give you green cups. He took his green cup, he pissed in it a little bit, and he just sprinkled enough piss, just enough to not be noticed, right? Then he spit in it, and then they stirred it up. And then he gave it back to the day room dummy that was his friend. The day room dummy took the food because he had no choice. Even though he became an official accomplice, he took the food, slid it under the dude's cell. I watched all this happen. The dude ate up the entire rest of the food, unwillingly knowing that he was just eating shit and piss, dookie, urine. And he did not find out until the very next day. And the next day, they told him. He found out. He popped it off and got up out of the crib. He couldn't live in there no more with the embarrassment. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Watch who you get upset, man. Because if they got a chance to violate you, they will, man. This is Nate Almighty with another Rikers Island story.